Yesterday, we are looking at the different organisms in the kingdom Animalia. So we are generally looking at kingdom Animalia, where we said it is divided into 9 phyla. Those 9 phyla, we said 8 of them have no backbone. That is the main characteristics of all the 8. Then the only one with a backbone forms the phylum Chordata, or the vertebrates. Those are, we said, they were the organisms that have an internal skeleton, whereas most of the other invertebrates either had no skeleton at all, or if they possess a skeleton, then it is an external skeleton. So looked at all those, the kind of like phyla Polyphela, Corentrata, the Cindalians, the Platyhelminthes, the flatworms, the nematoda, the phyla Annelida, the annelids, the organisms which are segmented worms, like the earthworm. Then we talked about echinoderms, or phylum Echinodermata, which has the starfish, then mollusca, Phylum Arthropoda, and then later the chordates. Then by the time we left, we are looking at these echinoderms. Someone had asked a question about starfish. If you remember, someone was asking how does starfish regenerate? And the issue was, we're trying to explain that this starfish has different ways of reproducing. One can reproduce sexually, it can also reproduce asexually. But generally, we're talking about its ability to regenerate. And we say this is starfish, if it breaks, if one of its arms, like you see it here in the picture, like I think we're able to see it yesterday. If you see it, let me check here. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, here, picture 20, yeah. Like you sometimes find a starfish whose like these limbs or arms are not the same, if they are of different size. It is an indicator that this one had broken off, because if one breaks off, it can get another one. As long as it breaks around some point, it can regenerate, it can get another arm, and even this one can now develop into another starfish. That is what I was trying to tell you about its regeneration. So I was saying, if it breaks as starfish, okay, if part of it breaks, that part which breaks first of all will be replaced. It will self-regenerate. But although the new like limb which comes up is not the same size as the other one, so we have often found starfish with different sizes of limbs which are not proportional, which are not of the same size. It is an indicator that one it broke off, and then anyone has to regenerate. So that is one way in which the starfish was able to regenerate. Someone was asking me that question of how it can reproduce, and say sexually it can reproduce via that method, although it can also reproduce sexually under some conditions. Yeah, it can produce gametes, and then fertilization can take a place. Okay, but after that organism is formed, it has other forms of reproducing, one of which is that regeneration I was trying to talk about, the starfish. Okay, that is what we talked about yesterday, and I had promised that when we come back today, we shall explore on these organisms which we had talked about, and that's what we want to do for now. we want to one of the phylum, which we call Phylum Arthropoda. I will ask someone to take us through.
Why are you recording?
Hello. Okay, now we get back to where we stopped, and you say we're going to look at this Phylum Arthropoda. We are required to read through that work which I have shared about Arthropoda. Can I ask someone to take us through? Can someone take us through that work? Timothy? Yes, Sachi.
Arthropod. Yes. This is the largest phylum in the animal kingdom. They live on land, in water, and in air. They have an exoskeleton that protects their bodies and prevents them from losing excessive water. Their bodies are segmented with pairs of jointed appendages, in brackets, legs and antennas. The segmented body eases movement. Arthropods consist of 4 classes: Myriapods, Crustaceans, Arachnids, insects.
Please, whoever is interfering with the lesson, please stop. Okay. Right now, arthropods or arthropoda, like it has been provided Yeah, like I was telling you, sorry for the interruption. Like I was telling you, these organisms can live in a wide range of habitats. They can live on land, they can live in water, they can live in air. And what makes them be able to survive in such a wide range of habitats, one is their ability to have an exoskeleton, like living on land. On land, it is very dry, and the organisms which live on land have a problem of what we call desiccation, that is drying out and losing excessive water. So since they have an exoskeleton, it can prevent excessive water loss. That's why they can survive. They have managed actually to survive very much on land and in many other habitats. Okay. Now they also have segmented body appendages. If you look at their legs, see their antenna, their mouth parts. Most of their body parts are jointed. That's what we say. They have jointed body parts. Okay, that is for the appendages, is the legs and antenna. They are segmented. That one can ease their movement because they can move freely in that case. The segmented body eases movement that I've just talked about. Okay. Then arthropods or arthropoda have been divided into four classes. For this case, we are taking the four classes. We shall take class Myriapoda, class Crustacea, or the organisms are called crustaceans. Then class Arachnida, or the arachnids, and then the class insecta. The organisms are called insects for that case. And the let us look at Myriapoda. So here we have given two examples of organisms, and one is this one here, which we have called the centipede. Then the other second one, which you have called the millipede. May I know how these two are different from each other?
Millipede.
Can someone suggest for me some differences between centipede and then millipede? Yes. How are those two organism examples of the Myriapoda different from each other? Anybody?
Teacher, me.
Okay, Priscilla.
A centipede has one pair of legs on each body segment, while a millipede has two pairs of legs on each body segment.
Very good. Okay. You can see per segment here, there is a pair of legs for the centipede. And on this, on every segment, they are two pairs of legs. Okay. That is very good. Yes, Priscilla? Mark? Priscilla or Mark?
A millipede coils for protection, while a centipede has claws for attacking.
Okay, yeah, that has been a good observation. These centipedes normally have a poisonous claw. Okay, so they fear nothing because they can attack. Actually, that poisonous claw, they use it one for defense and for capturing their prey. Yeah, for capturing their prey. However, for the millipede, it has the ability to coil in case of when it detects danger. It will coil its body for protection. Yeah, and it cannot reattack. And yeah, meaning I already told you now how a centipede is can hunt for its prey. Yeah. Then this millipede is herbivorous. Yeah, she's herbivorous in nature. Okay, but this one can kill certain organisms using the poisonous claws. which it can feed, which it can use for feeding. Actually, for that case, it can feed on other organisms in that case, using which it can immobilize by use of its its poisonous claws. Okay, all right, that is a good understanding of the two. In some books you'll find what they call class Myriapoda or then Myriapoda. Yes, so that is now a distinction between this class. Here they have put it into one class, but some books you find, if you read, when they have given the centipede its own class, even the millipede its own class, but they all belong to the Myriapoda. They have elongated body with several segments. Okay, of course, the millipede has more segments, and they have one pair of antennae and many legs, and they possess simple eyes. The centipede being with one pair of legs per segment, this one enables it to move faster. If you see, the centipede can really move faster, and I think they mostly move at night. Yeah, they mostly move at night. The millipedes can move slowly, and I think at any time of the day you can find them at night, and then but even during the day. But for the centipedes, I think they mostly move at night. Yeah, they're mostly active at night. Okay, we have noted the millipedes can coil when faced with danger, which does not happen with the centipede because they have a poisonous claw which they use to kill its prey. Now, the two pairs of legs on the millipede make it a slow mover. Talked about that. If legs are many, then it means it can move a little slower compared to the centipede. However, these millipedes are very important in the soil where they live. One, because I've told you how they are herbivorous. It means that they contribute to the soil fertility. Yeah, if they burrow into the soil, they create tunnels into the soil and then aerate. They aerate the soil. You know, air is a good component of a fertile soil. So if they create tunnels within the soil, that means they allow good air circulation within the soil. So they also mix up soil layers. So that is very good, and they contribute. I mean, they add humus. Of course, their excreta, and upon their death, okay, will add humus to the soil. So soils with millipedes, the soils will benefit. Okay, so millipedes are very important components or very important macroorganisms of soil. You know, in the soil, there are certain organisms you can see with our naked eyes. Those are the macroorganisms. Then the ones we call them microorganisms, those are, we can't see them because they are a little smaller in to be seen by our what we call our naked eyes. Okay, but in some or the other, you can be able to see them. So that is the first class of Phylum Arthropoda, which we call the Myriapoda or Myriapods, with centipedes and millipedes. Okay. Then we have another class we call the class Crustaceans. May someone take us through class Crustacea? May I invite Asasila? Yes, Ingrid. Ingrid?
They live.
Yes,
Teacher, I'm reading.
Okay.
They live in water or damp places. They have two main body divisions, i.e., fused head or thorax and abdomen. They have two pairs of antennas and two compound eyes. They have 5 pairs of jointed legs, and in some species, the front pair is modified into claws or pincers.
Okay, very nice. Now, the plural for antenna is antennae, right? So you should make that correction. So the word is antennae, which is the plural for the 2 pairs of antenna. Now, you see in the pictures shared there, we see a crab. We see crab, we see crayfish, and then prawn. These are 3 examples of crustaceans, which are common in water bodies or in damp places. One example I'm going to give us here is the wood lice. That one is very common to us. The wood lice is very common, and it is wood lice. There is the water freeze. Phinia is also a common example of these crustaceans. If you have kept water in a tank for some time, there are certain creatures you see there, white creatures you find at the bottom of the water tank. Yeah, those are mostly water freeze. If you have seen them, they look a little bit white in color. If you have kept water in a tank for some good time, you find those organisms in water. Maybe like water, like right now you're away from school. If you go there, those tanks with that water which you left there, by now you find that water, especially that one which is refilled, because sometimes they get water from outside. So that water can come when it has those freeze, and they can multiply with time. Okay, now this group of the crustaceans, one thing we need to know about them is having 2 main body divisions, and where the head and the thorax are fused. Now, what term is given to a fused head and thorax? I know from someone. What name do we give to a fused head and thorax? Fused head and thorax. What term do we use for that? Where in a situation where the head and thorax are fused together, what do we call that? Has anyone come across that term? Yes? Hello? I know you can hear me. What name do we give to fuse the head and the thorax in like that appear in these crustaceans?
Teacher, we asked that.
Yeah. Yes. I expect an answer from someone. Okay. Now, have you heard of what we call Pharaoh Thorax? Eh? Very nice. Okay, someone has given us the answer, and that is the Pharaoh Thorax. Okay, so they possess a thorax. It means the head and the thorax are fused. So they have, instead of having 3 main body divisions, these ones have what? 2, head and thorax together, then the abdomen. That is what this fusion of the head and thorax, they form what we call cephalothorax. Am I clear now? Am I clear?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, that is good. Really, okay, we can definitely continue. Okay, so then they have two pairs of antenna and two compound eyes. Okay, one thing also we can talk about these crustaceans. Most of them, their appendages are forked. They have what we call forked appendages. Like you can see this crayfish. If you see it around here, this is like a fork appearance. Okay, we say they have forked appendages. Like this crayfish here, you can see, if you know how a fork would appear. So that is something which is common to them, having forked appendages. Then having 5 pairs of jointed, they have 5 pairs of jointed legs. And in some species, the front pair is modified into claws. Like you can see the appearance of a crayfish. Yeah. If you see the appearance of a crayfish, if you see that appearance, it tells you the same thing with the crab. You can see how the front legs are modified. They're a little different from others, giving that forked up appearance which I told you, meaning they can be used as claws, and we have seen what claws are used for in such organisms. Okay. Then if we can move on. Do we have any question about the crustacea? That was our second group that we are talking about. This is a second class. Actually, this is a class. Talked about class Myriapoda, that is the under Phylum Arthropoda. Okay, now we've talked about the class Crustacea. Then you should be knowing the examples, okay, and then characteristics. Okay, this biology you're studying is so much tied onto you remembering an organism, its characteristics, and then examples. Okay, so we have to be specific on this. The next group is of class Arachnida, the arachnids. Okay, and this one has a spider, it has ticks, it has scorpion. Someone is going to take us through the literature, and then we shall see how we can explain further. Yes, Timothy. Yes, Timothy.
They have 2 body parts. For example, fused head or thorax and abdomen. They all have 4 pairs of legs. They do not have antennae or wings. They have simple eyes and breathe by lungs. Most arachnids are predators that can live on land. The tick is a parasite and transmits disease in farm animals, feed cattle.
All right, very good. So from that class, what we have picked from that literature, one, we have picked the examples, okay? The spider is very common to us, the tick is common to us, the scorpion. And the similarity they have with the previous class of Crustacea is one, fused head and the thorax, forming what we call the cephalothorax, and then the abdomen. So they also have 2 main body divisions, like the crustaceans, okay? And they have also the difference between them and the crustacean, the 4 pairs of legs. Previously we saw 5 pairs of pairs of legs for the crustaceans. And they do not have antenna or wings.
Predators
That is a
and live
difference
on
now
land.
between the
Tick is a parasite.
yes, we have some echo. Okay, so I was telling you, I was telling you the different. We are now looking at comparing the crustaceans with we are comparing them with this. We are comparing the previous crustaceans and then the current Arachnida in differences. Okay, and we have seen it. This one slide about them in the body parts. Being two, they have seen a difference in the pair of legs that they possess. The other one had 5, one has 4 pairs of legs. Okay, you will see the pattern as we move down to insects in the number of legs for these organisms. Okay, we started from the Myriapoda, where the legs were very many. We had a situation where we saw millipede with the 4 pairs of legs per segment. Now, if it has 100 segments or more, then you can now know how many legs you have. If you look at the centipede, two legs per segment. Okay, so you can also compare and see. Now, when we came down to the crustacean, you can see how legs keep on differing until we shall come to the last group with the class insecta, and you also see the difference in what in legs among these organisms. Okay, remember we are looking at how organisms have been classified. Yeah, and the importance of classification as in sorting organisms and grouping them where depending on their natural relationship or their biological relationship or the characteristics that they possess. Okay, so you can see why we put why we have Myriapoda, why we have the crustaceans together, and why now we have come to these class Arachnida. Okay, there are certain things that bring them close. Okay, although they have similarities with the previous groups. Okay, but it is something that brings them close, that they should belong to the same what, the same class. And lacking antenna is common to this, and we have seen it as a difference with the previous group, which had 2 pairs of antenna. And if you compare with maybe with the insects, you will still see there's a difference in the kind of now antenna. So these ones don't have antenna, they don't have wings. Okay, in this arthropods, you shall see those ones which possess wings. Okay, yeah, so we have those who have wings, those which are wingless. Okay, and the ability to use book lungs for breathing. We shall see those which use what we call they have a tracheal system or made of tracheals, which are the or the spillables, which use spillables for in their system of gaseous what exchange. Then we are very much interested in how the arachnids are predators and live on land. A spider is one predator we know. Oftentimes you have seen spiders making webs or making some webs for trapping insects, and they keep at a distance. When an insect is trapped in there, they rush and then kill that insect and use it as their food for that case. That one is common with spiders. Some are parasites, like a tick is a common parasite, and it transmits a number of farm diseases in the cattle. You've heard about diseases which are transmitted by those ticks. A lot of money is spent working on those, destroying the ticks because of the diseases that they cause. Okay, you've heard about such diseases. Now, Then this one brings us to the fourth class of Phylum Arthropoda. And this class has the insects: cockroach, butterfly, housefly, and many other insects. Someone should take us through that literature about insects. Yes. Any volunteer? Yes, Joram.
Insects form the largest group in Phylum Arthropoda. They can be found anywhere. The insect's body is divided into three distinct body parts, namely head, thorax, and abdomen. They have 3 pairs of jointed legs on the thorax. They have a pair of compound eyes, except the soldier termites. Most adults have 1 or 2 pairs of wings. Some insects are harmful or useful, or both harmful and useful to other organisms.
Okay, that is very good. Yeah, thank you, Joram. The literature is one telling us some of the characteristics of this class, class insecta. And the one that you shouldn't forget every time is how their body is divided into 3 distinct body parts. So they have 3 main body parts. By the way, we don't say they have 3 body parts, we say they have 3 main body parts, right? And those body parts are head, thorax, and abdomen. And this time they are separate from each other. And unlike where we had in the crustaceans, where we had it in the Arachnida, where the head and thorax were combined together or fused. This one's the head is different from the thorax and the abdomen. There are 3 main body or distinct body parts, distinct from each other. Okay, that is the one characteristic of all insects. Okay, that now this separates them from the other group when we are classifying. And having 3 pairs of jointed legs on the thorax. Remember, we have been talking about legs right from the Myriapoda with very many legs, then 5 pairs of legs for crustaceans, 4 pairs of legs for Arachnida. Now, class insecta, there are 3 pairs of legs, okay, which are found on the thorax. What we shall later learn is that the thorax of these insects is divided into 3 segments, okay? It has a prothorax, mesothorax, and then metathorax, okay? So that's the thorax itself has segments, actually 3 segments, okay? And each of those segments has now a pair of legs, okay? And actually the last segment, the metathorax, even has a pair of spiracles. We shall see that on the abdomen, on each of the abdominal segment of these insects, mostly they have a pair of spiracles for gas exchange. This information is not in the literature here, but we are expounding on what we know about them. Then most of the adults have 1 or 2 pair of wings, okay? We have those insects which are winged and those without wings. We have talked about the termites, yeah? The soldier termite does not have wings. However, the soldier termite belongs to the group, okay? Or to the family of insects where each relatives have wings. If you know the termites, the what you commonly call white ants. Yeah? Do you know white ants? What you call white ants? Hello?
Yes, teacher.
Yes,
Hello?
Okay, yes, I can hear you now. Now, those organisms you call white ants, actually, they are not ants. Yeah, that is a wrong description. That is a wrong biological description. They are not ants. They are termites, actually, but commonly wrongly referred to as ants. Yeah, we know of what we call a black ant and the red ants. Yeah. Now, I think these ones came up and got themselves a name, which is not true. They are not true ants, okay? That's what we should know. They are actually termites. Those ones you call the termites. They are termites belonging to what we call the winged reproductives, okay? Because remember, they live as a community, social insects, okay? Where they have a king, okay, and they also have a queen in their termitarium. They have a queen there and a king, which of course lay eggs. The queen lays eggs, and they produce the workers. They have workers also, which do the work in their termitarium. They do the building, the construction of their nests, feeding the queen and whatever, collecting food. Then they have soldiers which guard. Yeah, actually, if you damage a termite mound or mound, you'll find the first organisms to appear or come out as the soldier termites, because they are meant to defend the other groups. And after they have come around to defend, the workers prepare to start now reconstructing. If you come the following day, you will find some soft soil around there. And if you try to damage, you'll find there are some smaller termites there. We call them the workers. They have come actually to reconstruct. And by the way, they are very sensitive. If you come around, they will disappear and inform the soldier termites, which will come out bravely to attack whoever will have come around, okay? And then for them, they retaliate and they come back later when conditions are normal to start reconstructing their home. So what I'm trying to tell you is how they live in a community, these termites. I'm talking about termites because we said, apart from the termites, for them, they don't have wings. However, they come from a family where they are winged reproductives. Those ones we call the white ants, which are termites. Okay, for them they are winged. They have wings, and out of those, by the way, some of them become king and queen. Sometimes they go on what we call nuptial flight. They come out seasonally. They come out and they do mating. When they mate, they lose their wings and they will become king and queen. Then they form a new colony. Yeah, this is about their biology, and we see them so much when they come out of what we call their hill or their termite mound. I don't want to call it the ant hill because I would qualify them as ants. You know the difference between a termite and an ant. If you look at the abdomen of an ant, yeah, it normally has there is a smaller connection between the thorax and then in the abdomen. There is a smaller, like a small, slight connecting body between the thorax and then the abdomen. Before that, there is that connection. Yeah, that is what makes an ant. If you look at whatever we call the ants, the abdomen has a very tiny connection to the thorax. Yeah, which does not appear in these termites, the winged reproductives, the one you call the white ants. So that's why that means they are not ants, they are termites, because they don't have the body structure of an and you observe a red ant and you see what have been, or blacker ant, you will be able to see what I was trying to explain in that case. Now, some insects are useful and others are harmful, or both. Yeah. Do you know of any insect which is both useful and harmful, and in which way? Someone? Yes.
A bee.
Okay. How is a bee useful?
It pollinates plants and it stings people.
I like that last one of stinging. Of course, it is stinging those who have attacked it. That is its form of defense. Okay. However, the advantage you see from your contribution is that they are they're pollinators. Okay, they pollinate flowers. Okay, that is the biological advantage you shall get. But about stinging, that is their nature, to sting for defense. Okay, it's not like they do it all the time. Yes, Joram. Yes, Joram. Mayanja. Okay. Anyone? My question was to identify for me an insect which is both useful and harmful, and how. That was the question. Identify for me. Yes, Mark.
Chapadon.
And housefly.
How? Okay, you have identified the housefly. Then how?
It reduces the volume of feces in the toilet.
That's an advantage.
It spreads germs.
Very good. Okay, you can see that that's a very good answer. Okay, so if it is a vector of diseases, okay, wherever it goes in the data process, and then will transmit cholera, dysentery, yeah, it means that is already a disadvantage to us, okay, and then, but when they feed on the volume, that's an advantage. Any other insect which is that's very good. Another insect which is both useful and harmful, and in which way? So you identify the insect and tell me how it is both useful and how it is harmful to other organisms. Yes, please. Don, speak.
I don't know.
Patra, Chomhendo, speak. Now, about this one is a what is this one? Just a little butterfly.
Yes, a butterfly can help to. A butterfly can help to pollinate our flowers, and at its lower stage of the caterpillar, it also destroys our plants.
That is very wonderful. Okay, so
yes,
you can see the same organism when in an adult form, it can pollinate flowers. Okay, it is a pollinator, an insect pollinator, but its larva stage, which is called a caterpillar, is very dangerous to the crops. Okay, it is a pest and can destroy crops. Okay, So that is what we are trying to talk about. Thank you for that. That's what we are trying to talk about, as some insects being harmful or useful or being both. And later, I think we shall talk about these insects in details, and we shall see how each of those insects is. We shall see their biology, actually, their life cycle, their importance, their economic importance, and then the body features, like so. Now, that is what we have looked at today. Today, we have looked at Arthropoda. Okay, we have looked at Phylum Arthropoda, and we have looked at the different classes of Phylum Arthropoda. That is, we say it has 4 classes. According to this literature, there are 4 class Myriapoda. We talked about class Myriapoda. If I can share this, Myriapoda, Crustaceans, Arachnida, and then insects. Okay, and we have now gone ahead to look at each of those classes, and we have talked about examples. We have talked about examples. Now someone is asking me about the bed bugs, where would the bed bugs, where would they belong?
Arachnids.
Yes. Where they belong? Yes, Petra.
Insects.
Very nice. Okay, so bed bugs would belong to the wingless, the insects which are wingless. Okay, so they are the adult bed bugs are wingless insects. Okay, and so we of course we didn't talk about most of the organisms. We are giving you the common ones, but of course when bed bugs are very common because they're very common in our schools, homes, and the like. But so they would rather be under insects, not crustaceans. Somebody said crustaceans. No, they are not crustaceans. So someone asked that question. That was Dawn. I think we have answered your question. That is where. Okay. Then. Then we would do. We have looked at those groups, but now we have an activity that you need to do. Previously, I have not been going through the activities because time would get us, and we just have a few minutes, and they are asking us that classifying invertebrates. Pictures are preserved. I mean, we are going to get preserved or pictures of specimens, which we have: a hookworm, tapeworm, octopus, slug, sponge, mosquito, spider, and then starfish. And then the question is, we have those pictures there as we saw them yesterday, but the activity is construct a flow chart for any 6 organisms in the picture using their observable characteristics. You have your pen and notebooks ready for this? Yeah, are you ready for this activity?
Teacher.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Can you type for me? Can you type to me the question, please?
Okay.
Okay.
But are you able to see the screen?
Yes.
I've highlighted.
Okay.
Construct a flow chart for any 6 organisms in the pictures using their observable features. And the picture is what we shared yesterday of these organisms, okay? We have those organisms. Yesterday we were talking about the slug, brittle star, the spider, the hookworm. Yes, everybody.
Teacher, repeat the question.
Now let me do it like this. Activity, classifying invertebrates. What you need, in addition to your pen, pencil, and paper or notebook, you need pictures of those organisms. There are about 12 of them or 20, I don't, I shall say it, of 16, around 16. We have them and we saw them yesterday, okay? They range from number 1 up to what? Up to number 20, actually there are 20. And now those organisms you see, according to the question, they're asking us, have I highlighted the question? Construct a flowchart for any 6 organisms in the pictures. Just 6, any 6 that you select. So that means your flowchart should look at only 6, okay? And after getting those 6, then you are ready to what? To construct a flowchart. I think in class we had a flowchart, okay? Construct a flowchart for any 6 in the pictures using their observable characteristics. So you can select the numbers that you're going to choose, 6 of them, and then give us a flow, be able to use their observable use their observable characteristics when constructing a flow chart. Remember, flow charts are what we started on to use for identifying organisms. Yeah, like we had a flow chart in so you can have a flow chart. We can get 6 members in this group. Yeah, we select those members, and basing on their characteristics, we can keep identifying them. Yeah. Okay, you can identify them based on them. If I say, I can give an example. If I say maybe they have 2 main body divisions, then I should have those with 2 main body divisions. Okay, then out of my 6, I should select those with 2 main body divisions. 2 main, you get it? Then those with the 3 main maybe body division, or many, or more than 2 body divisions. I mean more than 3. Then later I can maybe look at nature of legs. I can look at do they possess wings. I can look at those are features basing on their observable what? Basing on their observable characteristics. Okay. What you can see from the picture, that this is what they possess. Okay. Then you are able to make a flow chart where you identify all of them. Remember, you have picked on their numbers. Say I've picked number 1, I can pick the number 1, 3, 5. I pick on 7. I pick on 9. I pick on 11. You get? Then I have my collection of 6. Then I put them together. Okay. After which I should be able to now. I remember I shared with you this book yesterday. So you will get to your books and study. You study those pictures which are there in the. I shared this text yesterday in the group. So you should be able to look at it and then you do the activity in that case. Someone is asking me, you want to screenshot them, you can do so. I can do it from number 1 to 14 in just 1 minute. You can take a look. Those who didn't maybe download the textbook, you can take a look at that. Then you can select You can select number 1, you can select number 3, you can select number 4.
Teacher.
You can select number 10. Yes, please.
They save the work.
Teacher, the link that you sent me,
Yeah.
I checked it. What is the link supposed to go to?
A link. Did I send you a personal link?
Yes, you sent me a link here. Yesterday.
Okay. What kind of link was it? There's one I sent late in the night.
Yes, it's
for
that
YouTube.
one.
For you, that one was taking us to the recorded YouTube lesson. Maybe for some people could have missed. Yeah, that's the lesson we had yesterday. So it was taking us to the YouTube lesson for yesterday.
Teacher.
Yes,
Teacher,
please.
which page is the exercise and the learner's guide?
Actually, what I'm sharing with you is the learner's guide, and it's page 45.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Yeah, welcome. What I'm sharing is the learner's guide, not the teacher's guide, because I'm dealing with you. May I have my copy ready? Yeah, okay. I hope you are done with the work.